This episode of Nameless is brought to you by Tanaka Envelope and Envelope Concerns Incorporated. Don't miss this discount. Go to www.tanakaenvelopeconcerns.com and enter Nameless as the code for a 15% discount on envelopes. That's Tanaka Envelope and Envelope Concern. Do you believe in a higher power?
I think so, yeah, because I was raised as a Christian. My mother's a pastor, so I do believe in God.
Yes.
Jesus.
I believe in the universe, karma, grace, intentions, divine timing, manifestations, and blessings. Yeah, definitely.
What happens when we die?
I was raised to believe we go to heaven, but I do feel like, we get buried or cremated and
I don't know for sure. I believe our spirits leave our bodies and we kind of just wait in limbo on the other side until, I guess, something happens.
I don't know if we have a second chance in life, but I feel like our spirit is around, and I hope that I feel like when we die, it's like a dream. It's just like a dream. It's like deja vu. You're just living, maybe you're young,
but while we wait, we just watch the living.
And like today I had a deja vu and I was like, oh, I felt I've experienced this moment. I feel like maybe that's how we feel when we die.
Have you ever mourned deeply?
I mourned my divorce.
Yes, I have.
Yes.
Not a lot of relatives of mine or friends, but I did have an ex-husband who died, and I mourned deeply because before he died, I wanted to get in touch with him, but I was in another relationship and I couldn't. I was held back from making contact, and then he died, and I mourned, and I couldn't even go to his funeral. I mourned deeply by myself. I couldn't stop. It was probably a 1 week of hardcore crying, and then it subsided. But I mourned deeply of that relationship, and I still do.
Are you a heartbreaker or a heart achre?
Ooh. I think I was a heartbreaker.
I would like to think that my heart has been broken many times, many more than I can count, honestly. I tend to put people before myself, and it usually doesn't work out for me in the end because of this. So definitely having my heart broken.
And I think karma has caught up with me because now I'm a heart achre. I definitely was a heartbreaker because, I'd left my first husband for another man. I potentially destroyed my partner, the next partner. I revealed his secrets and all that stuff, and his career. It was never the same. And I always broke up with my boyfriends, most of them, and some of them broke up with me. But I feel like in as of late, I don't know, but I'm a heart achre. Like I'm just aching all the time. I'm not crying myself to sleep, but I feel like karma's caught up with me.
What did you need to hear in your darkest moment?
Oddly enough,
good question.
Do you want to hang out? I had people that call me, they're friends, but no one was really there for me in my darkest time. So I was alone a lot, and, just getting out and having my mind off of those really dark times would have really helped me. So just hearing, hey, you want to hang out, get out of the house, get out of your head.
Maybe if
awesome to hear.
I would like to hear I'm here for you. Like whatever, like I'm listening. I'm here for you. That's sometimes what I do with my kids when they're like, so and so, like Miss so and so, like I need, and like they don't think I'm here, I'm listening. I don't worry, I can hear you. Today, someone was talking about a story to me and his wife and a bunch of people, and he said, "Oh, no one's listening. I guess I just have to talk to my wife." And I went, "I'm here. I'm listening. Continue." Just to say, and it was just like a really like kind of boring whatever story, but I wanted them to know I was present. So what I would like to hear is, it's just it's in a very short phrase, express unconditional love, which is I'm here for you if you need anyone to talk to, and I'm not going to judge you. Maybe that's what I'd like to hear.
Have you ever broken up with a friend?
Yes. Yes, I have.
Yes. And I think we didn't really, like, it never was said that we were never going to talk again, but it was like, I think it starts happening when they don't reply to a message, and then I was like, I think I wrote another message and they didn't reply.
Have you ever witnessed someone unravel?
Maybe my mother a few times, her being a single mom, and it really honestly just being me and her for my entire life. She's had moments of breaking down, and I guess, yeah, pretty much.
Yes, it was my former partner. It went from, he was like perfect in that, funny, charming, had everything. I felt like I have to use my own experience, but it was really unraveling to me, because he went from the good guy to a villain over a span of like 10 years or over a span of 7 years. Either it was always in him, or life beat the good out of him.
Have you ever witnessed a crime?
I was a victim of theft and voyeurism, so I would say that's a crime. I'm not sure if stalking is a crime, specifically where I'm at, Yeah.
Not in front of my eyes. I don't. Oh, I mean, I maybe witnessed from hearing it. I might have heard when I was in Barcelona. I heard someone take a woman's purse.
What belief did you once hold that seems ridiculous now?
If I took a nap, I'd feel better when I wake up. And my uncle actually gave me this advice when I was small. He was like, you're not feeling happy, take a nap, just go to sleep. And that's what I did for years. And I would wake up either feeling worse or the same. So problems just wait for you when you wake up,
Law of attraction. Thinking that, like The Secret. I think that's, thinking about wanting something, and then it'll happen without putting any effort, but just thinking about it.
What's the one piece of advice you have for people, anyone listening to this?
Healing isn't linear. Just because you've had a breakup or a divorce, maybe 1 or 2 or even 5 years ago,
I mean,
it doesn't mean that things should be over by now. Slow down and just take time for yourself. Be gentle with yourself. Take that time to heal. No one should make you feel like you should just hurry up and stop being sad. Like, no, you're hurting and you need to remedy that, as long as you need to.
Oh, that's really tough. I mean, if you can, just have more self-control, I think self-control would prevent a lot of problems in our life.
That's one of the our arching themes of this show, is what you just said. Yeah. Giving people the time, not telling people that it's gonna get better. It's been said by so many people, not necessarily as an answer to this question, but it's just been said, like that's what people wanted, or like that's what they needed to hear too, I guess. Sometimes it's that answer. Yeah.
That's honestly what I thought. I mean, like, I had my divorce and I was actually online looking up how long does it take to get over your divorce? How long does it take to get over heartbreak? And they would give you answers like, oh, 2 months, sometimes a year, maybe 2 years, and some days I would be great, feeling great. And then other days I would be angry. And then some days I'd be really sad. And it's just random. Some days I'm just not happy because my life didn't turn out the way I thought it would.
How old were you when you, like, it doesn't have to be sexual, but just like you're serious, like you felt you loved them relationship. Doesn't have to be sexual. Doesn't have to be sexual. Well, just like love.
Oh, definitely. It was my first boyfriend. So I had a first boyfriend. First boyfriend was grade 9, but it wasn't like love. It was the serious when I was 6. It was still young, 16 to 18. And for some reason, I was with him for 2 years.
Oh, nice. Yeah. That's great though. Right? Like, just you trust someone for 2 years, right? You have a good relationship through junior high or high school, right? Or
it was high school. He was older. He was like 2 years older than me, but it was just weird because it was so young to have that commitment. Like, we can't be even 2 years now. And for some reason, we were living together, but we weren't living together. So it's all, it's childish.
Wait, what do you mean? Sorry, just to check. I got to fact check this here. You were in high school, but you were living with the guy?
No, I wasn't living with him. So maybe that's why it could be 2 years.
Okay.
Oh, you know what I mean?
You mean if you were living with him, it might have been worse or shorter?
I guess it's like maybe situational. I don't know if that's a good word to use, but for example, the situation I had with, someone stealing very intimate things from me and peeking through my window, I get angry at times because if I was still married, I don't think I would still have those issues. I wouldn't think I would have had those issues at all. It would have been nipped in the bud immediately. But because that person knew I lived alone in my routine, I was unsafe and I felt unsafe and I had no one to really confide in, like at home. Like, I just have my cat and she hides. She doesn't help me.
So after the divorce, you move out to another place?
No, the original plan was for him to come here with me and we start our life here. And he never came and he would keep putting it off. And then he just confessed over the phone that he never wanted to come in the first place. And that was it. I was stuck here. Not really stuck here. I could have gone back home, but there was really nothing to go back to. I already had a job, I had an apartment, and I was getting myself established. So there was really no point for me to just go back because someone got cold feet,
Yeah, because you did it.
Yeah.
Right? Like, you did the new life thing. Like you executed that part. So yeah, I wouldn't. I think that's a success. in the end. Can you rationalize that? What he did? Can you understand where he's coming from to be able to do that at all?
We've had many talks, more on the civilized side. And he explained that it wasn't really his dream or plan to go. It was just like his ultimate goal of getting me here because it was somewhere I'd always wanted to be and he wanted to be supportive of that. But I guess he got fearful being, somewhere foreign and on his own, without that backup or safety net of a family there. Yeah. So, yeah.
I see. What do you think? I mean, what do you think is the difference? Besides the obvious, adults and innocence of childhood and all that, but what do you think stops us adults?
I think adults, we have more freedom. So we have the freedom to live with each other and spend more time with each other. When we were kids, half of the time is we can barely, see each other every day, even for an hour. I went to different high schools than him, but for some reason we just kept it going. But if I'm as an adult, like I spent with my last boyfriend 18 days just straight, and it was full on, and I couldn't even cope because it was like 24 hours.
Because you felt like you were spending too much time with the person?
Yeah, because I couldn't be myself. I was like, I had to take off my makeup. I had to do my routines. I had to, have my toilet routines, whatever. It was just like, it was just freaked me out that I had to share that with someone.
Okay. Yeah. Well, I have, I have interviewed and have lots of friends who that's the case for them. And that's why some of them are just confirmed bachelorettes or bachelors, where they don't ever see themselves as being married because, they don't think anybody could ever understand that they may need 2 days just to disappear and be alone, And for them, that's a big thing, right? It's a cultural norm to be married and everything, right? So that's tough, right? And maybe you aren't feeling like you trust the person yet that you can take your makeup off, right? I think that's the girl. That's the girl thing. Like I've been there, right? Hey, take your fucking makeup off. Look, don't I know you have to take it off. Just take it off, right? I've been there, right? I really have. And, and I know that, but that's an escalated thing, right? Where some women do not take their makeup off before they go to sleep if they just met a guy, or if it's the third date or something like that, right? So you didn't feel comfortable. You never felt like the trust level was above that to take your makeup off?
Not the last relationship.
Yeah, okay.
But the one before, I was so comfortable with him. I think I actually made a mistake. I think I was so comfortable in the one that I was in 7 years. I had brought that comfort in the next relationship, and I don't think it worked for me. I think I should have held not that comfortable. I mean, I took off my makeup off, and
okay, right,
because I had but then I was like, oh my god, I was the worst mistake ever.
But also, you're here, already. Yeah, wow, that's why this is called Nameless.
Right.
So I can say things about people and nobody knows who it is that I'm saying that about. That's fucking horrible. That's all, I guess, the easiest way to say it. I've heard of those kinds of situations, or like even, a lot of people just talk about that there's someone usually pushing. It's not always the same person, but in a relationship, there's someone who's like, leading and following, and it kind of changes, and it, and people want to help the other or get, fulfill the other's satisfactions and all that stuff. But it's still pretty just fucking ice cold.
I was really confused because there wasn't that communication of him not wanting to go in the first place. I mean, I think if he had communicated with me before I got on the plane, things would be much different now. But his point was he had already been here before and he had no reason to really go back. I mean, at least not to live,
I see.
So,
but was there the alternative plan? Like, just come back here and we'll do this together? Or was it like, oh, we are now apart, so metaphorically we are too, or something?
I'm stubborn. So it was a thing of, come back and we'll fix this. We'll make this work. I'm sorry. And it was just like, no, I'm already here. Like, forget it. We ruined it, and I was considering a lot mentally whether, it wasn't divorce right off the bat. It was just like, maybe separation, so I have time to think, because essentially he abandoned me here, and I have abandonment issues really deeply. So it really was hard on me, and I have no one here. I have a college friend here who lives an hour away from me that I couldn't just see regularly. I was alone, you know?
Right.
So it's just a lot to deal with. My mom was livid, but you know, I got through it mostly.
One of the saddest stories, and I you know, if this is nameless, we don't say names, and you obviously we don't know each other, and I don't you know, you don't know any of the people I know. Yes. But this happened in a country called Canada, and it was a guy who he met this like just really beautiful, like she was like everybody, like men and women are gonna turn their heads and look at her. She's like that beautiful, you know, kind of girl. And this guy, not a friend, I just know him, and he meets her, this beautiful girl, and like kind of charms her, but he's also he's like really up and down with bipolarism, basically. He's got these waves he goes through, and in the beginning she kind of takes it as like oh my god, like, oh, he's pushing me, I need to get closer to him, you know. So like it was like accidentally working perfectly for him, even though it was just his kind of like, you know, instability that was causing those things. But then they get together and he's like, you know, I love you so much. I don't care about your beauty. I just love you. You don't have to be beautiful. You don't have to wear makeup anymore. So she stops wearing makeup and everything. And he's like, you don't have to do this. You have to do that. Just like, you just be happy. And he's like, you know, she's like, I don't want to eat this. And he's like, you just eat it. Just eat, enjoy. Right. And 2 years later, he starts cheating on her with a really super pretty girl.
Okay.
And that's the shittiest person in the world, right? They tell the pretty girl that they don't have to be pretty. They say, you don't have to be pretty. I just love you anyway. And then that girl gains a little weight because you've been feeding her shit and you've been telling her she can eat and all this shit. And then he's cheating on her with a hot girl. I think the best word is like digestion. Like that, you know, like, or I guess process is what people say, but like I just feel it's digesting. It's not that you like put it through, like you play the tape and then you finish that tape. It's like a stew that has to break down and become bile, and then, you know, you spit it out after a while, you know. I think that's really, you know, that's closer to what absolutely happens.
It's like he did to me a really bad thing. It was one of my biggest triggers is abandonment, and he did that and then expected me to just come back and act as if nothing happened.
Right.
And I don't think he deserved that.
And you already told him that was an issue, kind of thing. Like he knew that in your relationship, right?
Yes.
Yeah. Wow. Yeah. The very thing you told him not to do. Is that that's a reoccurring thing in relationships, I think, in general. Yeah. It turns out I shouldn't have told you not to do the thing that you just did to me. You know, thanks.
Yeah.
Most of the time, I think what most people who do have dark moments, if it is a reoccurring thing, as opposed to some people answer the question as like, you know, when my dad died when I was 8, I wish I heard this, you know what I mean? Like one moment. But like in general, in the general dark moments, it's just, to be there. You know, there's that, like, you know, because I think that the trouble is, especially if you know someone, you know, it's like for the listeners too, but if you know someone who does have dark moments, they think you hate them sometimes. So you can't really rely on the, you know, trusting why they aren't seeing you, you know what I mean? So that's a hard thing. That's a like neurotypical versus atypical like fight, right? It's like he never calls me to hang out, you know, and it's like, oh no, you but you don't call him to hang out because you're so feedback looping on him not calling you, right?
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah. And then you finally meet and someone says, we never hang out. Why, you know? Hey, this is the first time we've hung out. And you're like, yeah. So yeah, I think that's a big, I think that's, you know, it's so important, especially now, the like detached internet and social media world and everything. That's you know, there's so much just irresponsibility, I think, when it comes to people's like hearts and minds lately, you know, which brings me to the topic of positivity. So was it the beginning of November? Was it like November 1st? Was this the first day?
Yes, November 1st, hit the ground running and just do the thing.
Yeah. And so what's the thing exactly? Because I don't, you know, I don't know what the system is that you're, you know, that
so I went on Pinterest and I started skimming through like affirmations, and then I was thinking more of on like a challenge thing. Like they have these calendars for workout challenges. I wonder if there was anything for positivity, things that you can do on a daily basis. And some of them were maybe a little bit odd, like some things I couldn't exactly do mixing into my job. But
like
I found one that was
can you give me one? Can you give me one of the terrible ones?
Take a hike and watch the sunset or something.
Okay. Yeah.
Have a job.
Yeah. Thanks. So, yeah.
So I found one that was relatively reasonable. It was for teenagers, but it was pretty light as far as, you know, meeting up with my job and my life, you know, which was fine. But yeah, I enjoyed it I didn't last. I did 5 days.
So your plan is you're going to do a month. That's what it is. It's like a 1 month. So so, you know, why give up? I guess that's the easy. Let's start there. Why give up? I hate that I'm saying give up. I'm sorry I'm using that negative connotated thing, but you'll get why in a second. Why did you?
So me personally, I would give up in the sense that I lack consistency and motivation for certain things. So I may be on it kind of like the New Year, New Me people, where they start the gym for like the first week or so, and then they're just fall off. It's kind of like my thing.
Right. Okay.
Like I need to be a little bit more consistent and disciplined in that aspect or something.
Right. But is there like, is it that you bit off more than you could chew kind of thing? Like, is it just that there is a lower thing? Like, you know, I don't know, like a month of reading a quote and, you know, like trying to have 10 minutes of peace and quiet or something, you know? Like there must be something in that.
I think it just became like this, I don't think that I can reasonably be happy all the time because shit happens. Yeah. So, I mean, most of the time when I had been posting these positivity things, I wasn't always happy. I was having a shit day. I was like going through it, but you know, I didn't want to project myself on social media that way because I said I was going to be positive. So I was kind of like faking it till you make it. And then I just kind of imploded and stopped doing it. So,
right. Yeah. I mean, that's what that whole industry is, you know, is like doing, you know, is like, you know, the trying to be happy is like, that shouldn't be the baseline anybody's trying to go for, you know. Like I think basically I think kids taught me this, you know, that being calm is the middle, and all the other ones, they can all fucking wipe out and go out of control. You can be too happy and break shit. You can be too angry and break shit. You know, you can be too sad and break shit. So like the too much of any of those emotional, off the center things like happiness and like, or I should say, I think it's called joy, like the technical term is joy.
Yeah.
But I think it's not a goal. I don't think that's a goal. Like, I think that's the good part where you're like, this is way better than normal, right? Like, yeah. I think that's, but I think it's spilled to us so much, it like that you're supposed to be happy. Like, just be happy, do whatever you want as long as you're happy. Sounds like that's a great, sounds like a great idea.
Yes.
But there's just a little more to it,
Yeah, definitely.
Serial killers are quite happy doing what they do, so they I don't know, they break that formula.
Yeah, I'm not so good at faking it. I have to express myself properly, I guess. So
yeah, I think that's the important thing, obviously having filters for different people and job friends and real friends and all that. There's I'm doing great, hey, good to see ya. Everybody, we all have to do that. But I think if you don't have someone that's just to be there, like go back to that one, that's really the key. This episode has been brought to you by Asahi Super Dry, the beer for all seasons, the Japan brand, the official sponsor of the Fuck Off Olympics.